Welcome back to the kitchen, and it's pie time. So November always signifies time for apple pie for me. And I know a lot of you are probably great cooks out there, but what I want to really share is this incredible tool that I got, this apple peeler corer, that made this so much easier than just sitting there with a knife and taking like 2 hours to core all these apples. So I'm going to show you how it works. And you can also, because you've got a month or two before Christmas shopping time, this is like a fabulous Christmas gift to get your friends and family into apple coring. So it's got a little suction base that I put a little water on, and I'm just going to suction it down so it doesn't move. Take one apple, pull back on the draw. I've got my thumb on a lever in the front, which allows me to move this into position where the blade is. So I'm just going to rotate. And in 10 seconds, I've got it completely cored. So I've got this wonderfully cored apple, a little skin at the top, so you can take that off with a paring knife. Okay, didn't quite get some of the seed because I didn't have it centered well. And then you simply take it to your pie dish, and you have these fabulous slices. It just took seconds. So do you want to see that one more time? Take off the core, pull on the lever, draw back, get that centered, push on the lever, get it back in place, and spin. Take it off, take off the excess skin, slice it 3 or 4 times, put it in your pie plate, and you're ready to add the other ingredients. So I'm going to core up about 8 or 9 apples for this apple pie. So I got my apple peeler corer from Williams-Sonoma, but you can probably Google it on Amazon and find something nice cast iron one. So in about less than 5 minutes, I've cored 9 apples, Golden Delicious and Jonathan mixed in. So the next thing you're going to do is just simply half a lemon, about a tablespoon or 2, depending on how lemony you like it. Squeeze it all over the apples. Okay, so they don't come down, they have that nice tangy taste. Mix it up. Okay, and then I have about 2/3 cup of sugar with some cinnamon, about a teaspoon of cinnamon and a pinch of nutmeg, which I'm going to sprinkle in, but I'm going to reserve a little bit for the crust on top. So most of that's gone in except a tablespoon, and I'll just mix that up. And that's your filling, basically. One other thing, a tablespoon of flour. I have a friend who made her apple pie last week, and she didn't add flour, and there was too much juice in it. It was so runny. So make sure you add either flour or cornstarch to help absorb the juices. Okay, so your filling is basically ready. And I'm such a novice at cooking, I was afraid of pie until about 5 years ago when someone said, get a pre-made pie crust, one of these box ones. And it looks more like homemade than the ones that are already formed in the shell. So I'm just going to put this in my lovely pie plate that Mary Olson made for me from her kiln. Let it go to room temperature. You'll just press that in there gently. Put your filling in. I like a deep dish one, so I like to have my apples a little bit higher than the top of the bowl. There we go. Okay, so then we want this to be nice and moist. So I've got about 2 tablespoons of butter, which I've cut up, and I'm just going to put some pats of butter all over the top of the apples so they can melt in there. Thusly, yum, buttery. Okay, then we'll take our second pie crust. I've let these kind of get to room temperature so they're easier to work with. Then I'll just take that and lay it over the top. And we'll take the top and fold it in to make a little crinkly thing. So we want to seal in all the juices so that the apples steam and cook. So make sure you just fold that over, give a little crinkle pinch. If you may be a fancier chef than I, but this is the simplest way I've found how to do this. Just tuck it in neatly. Seal the bottom layer to the top layer. Okay, so I took a little egg white that I'm going to brush just over the top of the pastry shell to give it a nice glaze, and also so that it can grab a hold of the rest of the cinnamon sugar that I had saved. Sprinkle that over the top. So every bit of the crust is yummy and tasty. And then, to ventilate a little bit, do some slits at the top, maybe about 10 dozen slits. I'm preheating the oven to 425 degrees, and we're going to cook this with a little foil edge. I've just taken some aluminum foil, cut a big hole in it, and I'm going to put that over the outer crust for the first 20 minutes so it doesn't get too overcooked. We're going to put this in the oven for 20 minutes at 425, then we'll take the foil off and cook another 25 or 30 minutes, so a grand total of about 45 minutes to cook this yummy pie at 425. So here's our apple pie after 45 minutes in the oven at 425 degrees. Crust is this nice kind of molding over the apples. So let's just see how it is. You're going to let it sit. After you take it out of the oven, let it set or sit for 2 hours or so all the juices can coagulate. There's a piece of here. Oh, that looks so good. Oh. And you saw how easy that was to make. So we have this fresh apples that just took me 5 minutes to core and peel and slice. Oh, it's still steaming. We need some vanilla ice cream, I think, melted over there next time. Perfect. So remember, easy to make and perfect idea for a Christmas gift for you and or your family. Kids love this. They'll want to eat apples and apple pie whenever they can. So enjoy your pie and bon appetit.